Hello. Yes, my hair is blue now. I had some leftover dye and the pink was just like really grown out. So I just was like, blue, that'll do. I'm okay. Doing alright. Yeah, it's been an alright 2 days actually. It was really hot yesterday for some reason though, so it's like sweltering up here, but it's not been too bad today. We went shopping again to Sainsbury's for some bits, and now they've increased the measures even more. So now, as well as queuing outside and queuing like 6 feet apart, whatever it is, when you're inside, they've put like almost like yellow hazard tape on the floor, and they've like sectioned it off. And when you go in, the lady, whoever stood at the door, says that you can only one customer per square. So it was like playing like a giant board game in Sainsbury's. It was so weird. There's just people like sort of moving square to square but not walking in each other's squares. It was bizarre. Honestly, it was just kind of funny more than like anything, but I suppose it's a good idea, I guess. At least they're taking preventative measures, which is really good. But yeah, I had a good sort of chuckle at that. Other than that, I've been trying to learn how to draw cats. Because I really want a cat and I can't have a cat, so I'm just going to draw cats until I have one. So I did that, sort of cat like lying down, and then I did these two, which I was playing around with like the eye style. I'm not sure how I feel. I don't really like their eyes, they look a bit creepy, but I did this little one today and I really like it. If you can see that, yeah, you can. Yeah, it's really cute. I'm trying not to think too much, because my big problem with when I draw things is I get so in my head, and whatever reference I'm using, if it doesn't look exactly like the reference, I'm like, oh, it's awful. But I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to just sort of take inspiration and just sort of draw and just not spend hours like resketching it and redoing it and whatever. So like this is the next one. So there's a little kitty with like a cape and a crown on. I thought it was pretty cute, and it doesn't really look massively like the reference I'm using, but it's just like a general idea. So yeah, just doing that and just generally sort of thinking about like who I want to be in life, almost. I guess not in life in general, more like who I am. I don't know, because when I was younger, and I'm going to say sub 16, because when I was 16, that's when I left / ran away from home, and I don't feel like I've been me ever since. I don't know who me is, I guess, is the point. I don't know who I actually am completely. I know the idea of who I am in my head, but whether that's actually who I am is different. So like in my head, I feel like I'm really confident and I'm sure of myself and yada yada yada, and I don't take no shit from nobody, but I'm not like that. I'm actually really anxious and kind of meek. I guess, is meek the right word? I think so. And kind of shy until I get comfortable, and then I'm really loud and talkative. But that's who I am in my head. I'm like really talkative, and Grandma used to say I was boisterous, which I always thought was negative, but now I don't really feel like it's a negative thing. And I was called bossy, which really just means I was assertive. But I don't think I'm like that anymore. Or if I am, and then someone questions me, I instantly backtrack, because it's like you give an idea and someone sort of goes, oh right, but what about this? I'm going to go, yeah, you're probably right, my idea is probably terrible, never mind. But like I feel like the old me, or like the me I am in my head, would have been like, yeah, I think we can add that to my idea. I still really like my idea and I still think we should do it, if I was the leader of something. I'm not just talking about taking over, but I feel like I'm not sure of myself. I'm not confident, and I don't know how to get confident, apart from, I think losing weight will obviously help a great deal. But when I'm not in a moment, when there's a moment where I'm not feeling confident, my weight is not the thought in my head, if that makes sense. It's not the forefront of my brain. It's more like, have I said something wrong? Do they like me? Do they not like me? What did I do? Did I say the wrong thing? Did I upset someone? I'm like thinking so much about, well, everyone else really. How is everyone else feeling? But not how I'm feeling. And it happens all the time with little things, like, Grandad couldn't find my grandma's handbag the other day, and I always remember that my grandma's bag was in exactly the same drawer, because she used to do this thing where she would, if I was sort of walking past their sort of bedroom, because it's a one-story building, she'd go like, Jocelyn, come here. Okay, so I'd come over and she'd open this drawer, she'd get out this tiny little wallet purse thing she had, she'd zip it open, she'd take out her £5 notes and she'd give it to me and go, there you go, there's your spends. Don't tell Grandad. Shh. Every time without fail. And like, she used to do it when we were sat in the car. If we were sat in the car and say we were going to the zoo or to something, because I'd sit behind her, she'd like pass me a £5 note. And I don't know why, just one of those grandma things, I guess. It just always made me laugh, because it's not like I had to say, oh, Grandad, can I have this thing? And there'd be a big hoo-ha about it. It'd be like, well, do you really want it? Why do you want it? And if I said, yes, I really want it, they'd normally get it for me if it wasn't too expensive, so I don't know why my grandma would give me a £5, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, I knew exactly where her purse was, and so when I like found it straight away, my granddad jokingly said, now did you put that, no, he said something like, you put that there, didn't you? Like jokingly, because like I found it so quickly, and I got so defensive so quickly. I was like, no, I didn't put it there, it's always been there, I know exactly where it is. Like my granddad was just like, what just happened? Like, I'm only playing with you, and I'm like, I don't like being played with, don't like being messed with. And it's because my instant response is I'm being told off. You know what I mean? I remember my dad used to do it all the time. He'd mess with me, and I'd like take it seriously. I'd say like, I don't, that wasn't funny or whatever, and he'd be like, oh, just lighten up, which then makes me more mad, because I'm like, I'm not light, I just don't like being messed with, it's not funny. You know what I mean? And I don't know where the line of I just don't like being messed with and I'm triggered by things that, I don't, because I don't want to alienate people, and at some point I've got to stop making excuses for why I react to things a certain way, because I don't want people to walk on eggshells around me, because then it just makes it more awkward for me, because then I've made things awkward and then I feel bad about it. Like in that situation where Grandad says, now you put that there, didn't you? I'd be like, no, Grandad, I didn't put it there. You know what I mean? Like, you play into it, but that wasn't my visceral reaction to it. I don't know, I'm spending a lot of my time just thinking about myself, which is weird. Like, just I'll still be doing something, like I'll be drawing or whatever, but then there'll be times where I'm just sat there like, that's what I'll be like for a good, like, I don't know how long. Like, I did it earlier. I wasn't thinking about myself, really, it was more my grandma and me, but my grandma's been ill for so long, I'd almost forgotten what it was like to have her around. And then I remember, because I'm mostly in their house, and I was looking at her place on the sofa, which she always sat in exactly the same place, and how I just sort of wander in there when she was reading the paper, and suddenly we'd have a 2-hour conversation, and I'd look up and time would have passed, and I don't know, it just made me really, I don't know how to feel about anything really, because I think I might have explained this in a previous video, but because of the issues my grandma has with schizophrenia, now she has osteoporosis, which is why when she fell sort of 6 months ago or so, she broke her hip. Not her hip, she broke like the ball joint, so what the leg rests on is what's broken. So for example, if she broke her leg or something, she could still use like crutches or chop her leg off and use a prosthetic leg, but it's the housing of her leg that's the problem. Anyway, so she's been ill mentally for so long now, it's like 4 years or something she's had schizophrenia, that it's like, it sounds awful, but it's like she's already dead because the person I know or knew isn't really there anymore. Like, there's glimmers of her sometimes, but it's really rare. she's pretty much a vacant shell, which is awful, but it's just what I'm dealing with, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's always something with me. I feel like it's my whole life. It's like when I was younger, my mum was bipolar and a drug user, and so that was nonsense. I then went to live with my grandma and granddad from 7 till 9-ish, and those 2 years were actually really good. I think I did really well there, and then I went to live with my dad from 9 till 16, which I'm always conflicted about it, because as much as I feel like I don't think it was good for me, it was also good for me, because I learned a lot about people, and I think the reason I'm so empathetic and caring is because at least I don't feel I was in a very loving environment. I'm not saying it was abusive, like it's hard to describe, it wasn't like actively negative, it was just, I don't know. Anyway, then 16 I left home, and then I lived with my ex for a bit, my ex, so D, I think I named him. Then I lived in my own little place for a couple of months, excuse me, and then I moved to Liverpool with my ex, and then I was there till uni. Then I went to uni, then I broke up, and then I was with Rob, moved to Manchester, failed at doing my masters. Well, I didn't fail, but I just wasn't mentally ready for it. Then, work and not work, and depressing job, and customers yelling at me, and I feel like I just want to be happy. And my version of happiness really is just not to have drama. Like, I think, at least for the foreseeable future, I would really like it if I could just be content with what I've got. I have my own space, and I have money coming in, and I can still draw and make art, and I want a cat. I know that's very basic life for now. Like, I probably will want more in the future, but I think that's what I just like. Just simple, no drama. Just, there's always certain things that are going to be looming, like my relationship with my dad, like my grandma's schizophrenia and that kind of thing, but they're more like ongoing things instead of... It just got really windy. They're more like ongoing things instead of like, here's something that's going wrong. Anyway, I don't know where this video started off, but I'm okay. I don't know. I never know if I'm okay or not. Anyway, this video is long enough now. So if you're still here, thank you very much for watching, listening to me ramble. I hope everyone's staying safe and staying indoors and staying quarantined and all that nonsense. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!